really should have waited. You took this fight too early.
We're back again with some more boxing news in the boxing world. We got some breaking news. Gary Jonas, Lamont Roach's promoter, says this fight, this rematch, is a done deal. It's over with. It's going down second time around.
When is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to, you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big fights out there for you?
Stephen A. Smith has strongly advised Gervonta Davis not to go for a rematch with Lamont Roach.
That should have been it. That should have been a knockdown. Having said that, let me stand up. Shannon, Ocho, I got to apologize on national television to that brother Lamont Roach. I didn't give him much of a chance in this fight because I thought he was the smaller guy moving up. I didn't expect him to be in the ring bigger. And from opening bell, he walked right to Tank Davis. I was stunned, and the brother can fight. I'm very impressed with Lamont Roach. He put on a great performance, and he wants his love on national television right now. We need to give it to him. This brother is special for the sport of boxing. He can fight, and he can take a punch.
Stephen A. Smith recently apologized to Lamont Roach for underestimating him in his fight against Gervonta "Tank" Davis. At first, Smith thought Roach was too small to stand a chance, but after seeing how Roach pushed Davis the whole fight, he admitted he was wrong. Smith praised Roach's toughness and skill, especially after Davis went down in the 9th round, blaming hair grease in his eyes. Now, Smith sees Roach as a serious contender and is excited about a possible rematch later this year.
What I didn't know is that once Lamont Roach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Walked right to him and stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punches, left hook, straight rights. This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout artist.
On March 1st, 2025, Gervonta Davis defended his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The fight drew major attention, with Davis seen as the favorite thanks to his undefeated streak and powerful knockouts. However, Roach, stepping in as the underdog, surprised many by putting up a tough fight and pushing Davis from start to finish.
For me, Tank Davis fighting a minus 1600 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. Lamont Roach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. Earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money and long-term destruction of a sport.
The most controversial moment of the fight came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, saying he couldn't see because grease from his hair got into his eyes. Referee Steve Willis didn't call it a knockdown, a move that has faced heavy criticism. The fight ended with one judge scoring it 115 to 113 for Davis, while the other two had it 114 to 114, leading to a majority draw. Davis kept his title, but the results sparked heated debate about whether the decision was fair.
From a division lower moves up and gives Tank Davis his toughest fight. I thought beating him on the inside, making him miss, putting offense behind defense after making him miss, being more active. Obviously, Tank's going to have the edge in power. Tank is going to have the edge in power strikes. I think ultimately the stats spoke to that. I don't think that this was a disaster. I think it'd be strong to call it a disaster. The fight was not great up front. The fight was not great in the middle, but it was very good. Not amazing, but definitely very good down the stretch.
Lamont Roach Jr. has made it clear he wants a rematch with Gervonta "Tank" Davis after their controversial majority draw on March 1st at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. One judge scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while the other two called it even at 114-114. A key moment came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, saying something got in his eye, but referee Steve Willis didn't count it as a knockdown.
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we taking?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
After the fight, Roach's team appealed the decision, but the New York State Athletic Commission upheld the draw. As a result, Gervonta Davis was dropped from Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound rankings, and David Benavidez replaced him.
It ain't no timeouts in boxing. Why are you taking? You know that. You should know that. So that's the thing where I'm like confused because that's supposed to be a knockdown. That's a 10-8 round. If that's a 10-8 round, I win the fight. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that draw turned into a 115-114 my way.
Roach, confident he won the fight, quickly called for a rematch, saying, "I hope to become a multi-division world champion, and this is the kind of fight that will help build the legacy I'm aiming for."
Gervonta Davis gets a controversial draw against Lamont Roach. 2025 NYC. Both men start the fight wrapped in caution tape while downloading using their powerful Intel Core processors. Tank then begins playing a game of Tom and Jerry as he scurries around the ring, baiting Roach to chase him. Lamont soon starts landing sharp counters as he times Tank, who's dropping low. But Gervonta's cannon straight left soon finds its way home like it's using Google Maps. However, Roach also continues touching Tank with counters during their exchanges. But the Baltimore native's straight left keeps repeatedly connecting like AT&T, walloping Lamont as he angles around him with the geometric brilliance of Pythagoras. By round 6, though, Davis has taken control by investing in the breadbasket like he's a Stella Doro stockholder, while also cracking Roach's Liberty Bell like they're in Philly. But at this point, Lamont's titanium-dipped chin is rearing its head.
Lamont Roach Jr. added to the buzz by posting a bold and cryptic tweet on social media that read, "Word round the block, your all-favorite fight, Finey 3013-012XX2 division champ." The message quickly caught attention among boxing fans, hinting that Roach is confident about the appeal outcome and suggesting that Gervonta Davis's undefeated streak might be coming to an end.
Performance for sure. I'm definitely happy with my performance. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won. And I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds, and even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. So, you know, I don't think there's any excuse for me not to win tonight, but that's just how the cookie crumbled.
There's a few things I want to dissect about the fight. Let's just start off with the beginning. It seemed like a little bit of a cagey opening on both behalves. Both of you just trying to figure each other out. What was your initial thoughts of those first 3, 4, 5 rounds whilst you were both getting to grips with each other?
Just getting the information, seeing how he react to certain stuff. I'm pretty sure he was trying to do the same thing. And you know, he's an excellent fighter. He's undefeated for a reason. With a 97% knockout, I mean, it ain't that no more. But you know what I'm saying? But with a 90% knockout ratio and everything like that, you know, it take a little thinking in there. It's a thinking man's game, especially when it's on that type of level.
Critics say Davis purposely took a knee in the 9th round to throw off Roach's rhythm and take back control of the fight. By going down on his own, Davis might have been trying to buy a few seconds to recover instead of getting overwhelmed by Roach's strong attacks. Many fans and experts see this as a smart, experienced move to stop Roach's momentum.
And to go ahead and keep it real with y'all, I think that knee that Tank took was because Lamont Roach was in a rhythm and Gervonta Davis tried to throw this man off a rhythm. Do I believe the Murrays, Sport Waves, the Soul Glow was in his eye? Absolutely not. I believe that man Tank got nerve-eye and said, hold on, this man Lamont Roach is cooking. I need to take me a quick timeout and a quick break. It's nasty. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's bad enough how hard and difficult it is to beat this man. Most fighters is weight drained. Most fighters has clauses on them. So when somebody who's coming up is able to compete with Gervonta Tank Davis, you handicap the man with trash rulings.
Davis explained that the problem came from a hair treatment he had done 2 days before the fight. He said the grease from the treatment mixed with his sweat during the match, which caused his eyes to burn. In the post-fight interview, Davis addressed the crowd's reaction, sharing his frustration and stressing that his actions were a real response to the irritation, not a tactic to change the fight's flow.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and like you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that, or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Fans and analysts have had mixed reactions to Davis's explanation. Some wonder if that moment should have been called a knockdown no matter what caused it.
What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that, or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. You definitely might see it in a minute.
What the hell happened to Gervonta Davis, huh? He got some grease in his hair. It was the lady that she put too much grease in my hair, and that's the reason why I took a knee. I ain't lying to y'all. Why y'all booing me for? Y'all remember the movie Coming to America? Was Gervonta Davis using the Soul Glow? It's just the Soul Glow. Feeling all so silky smooth. Just let it shine through, baby. That gotta be one of the most embarrassing moments in boxing history. How the hell you go down saying that the grease, know what happened at the grease? Stop, it's not funny. Why y'all booing me? I'm telling you the truth. That woman put a lot of grease in my hair. Yo. Damn, Tanky, come on now.
Stephen A. Smith, known for his honest and sometimes bold opinions, has spoken about the controversy around the Davis-Roach fight. While exact quotes aren't available, he generally advises Davis to be careful if he decides to face Roach again.
I gotta stand down and give mad respect to Lamont Roach. Brother fought one hell of a fight. This was a damn close fight. Gervonta taking a knee should have been a knockdown. Either way, Roach has skills, fought his ass off, deserves nothing but respect. He earned the boxing world's attention tonight. He has mine. Thought he'd be too small. I was wrong.
A rematch with Roach could put Davis's perfect record in danger. Their first fight showed that Roach has the talent and game plan to really challenge Davis. Taking on a rematch might risk Davis's reputation in boxing if he ends up losing.
Give you my picks on 3 fights taking place Saturday night at the Barclays Center in New York City between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, Gary Russell versus Jose Valenzuela, and Sandor Martin versus Alberto Puello. Gervonta Davis uses knocks somebody out inside of 85 punches because he's clearly capable of that. But I just see this as being a kind of fight where he's going to have to run him down. He's going to have to walk him down, rather, and he's going to have to throw some punches before he ultimately catches him. And that's how I view it. So I'm going to go with more on this particular one. Next up.
Despite Lamont Roach Jr.'s repeated calls for a rematch after their close majority draw on March 1st, Davis has made it clear he doesn't plan to have an immediate rematch. The fight ended with one judge scoring 115 to 113 for Davis, while the other 2 scored it even at 114 to 114. A key moment came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach, sparking debate over whether it should have been called a knockdown. Referee Steve Willis decided not to count it, a choice that has sparked a lot of discussion.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley was doubtful about Roach's chances in a rematch even before their first fight. He pointed out Davis's smart boxing, southpaw stance, quick footwork, and clear killer instinct. Lampley also praised Davis's impressive punching power, comparing his knockouts to those of a young Mike Tyson. He believed that, while Roach is a skilled boxer, he would have a tough time against Davis's strength and skill.
Draw is always a mixed bag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger.
Roberto Diaz, Lamont Roach Jr.'s advisor, recognized the tough challenge Davis poses, calling him one of the top fighters in the world. Diaz pointed to Davis's strong record and power, but also showed confidence in Roach's skills. He highlighted Roach's deep experience, including his amateur background, and the progress he's made since their last fights. Diaz believes Roach's knowledge of Davis and his own growth could make a big difference in a rematch.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, for sure. You're part of Lamont Roach's camp. Well, what's your official role with Lamont Roach?
I'm an advisor for him.
Okay, so you guide him on how to make certain decisions?
Correct.
Okay.
We've been together for many years since his pro debut back in the days at Golden Boy, and after we both parted ways, we hooked up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting because now that you guys are not with Golden Boy, you're still together. So
absolutely,
you guys must have had a good relationship when you were at Golden Boy.
Always had a good relationship with him and his father, and obviously I'm honored and just honored to be a part of him. And when I got the call to continue working with him, it was a no-brainer for me.
The controversy around the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight has sparked strong reactions from many, including well-known figures like Stephen A. Smith. Smith's cautious advice about a possible rematch highlights how risky and complicated the situation is for Davis. As Davis thinks about his next move, he needs to consider not just the competition, but also the financial and legacy impacts of facing Roach again. In the end, careful strategy will be key for Davis as he plans the future of his boxing career.
Right. And the man flat out put on a show. Get your hand out of my... He proved Two-Tone the Superstar wrong. He proved everybody wrong, and that man went ahead and cooked, and he gets robbed by the New York State Athletic Commission. And these people acknowledge that the knee that Gervonta Tank Davis took was a knockdown.
Was the majority draw fair, or should a rematch be mandatory? Do you agree with Stephen A. Smith's warning to Davis about facing Roach again? Share your thoughts in the comments below.